Hello everyone, I want to have a go at making something with my tag of the kit month from Padilla of Piles of Paragraphs. Laurie is one of the admins in our Facebook group, the Mixed Media Emporium, and she has an Etsy store called Piles of Paragraphs, and she's putting together tag of the month kits for a very reasonable price, about, you know, £6 as it is at the moment with the exchange rate. And this is the latest one that I've purchased from Laurie. This is the March kit. I know that several of you have bought this from the video that I did last month, and I know that she's got her April kits ready and available for you to buy now, so I'll leave the link to her shop in the description box below. I must admit I've had mine for about 10 days now, and with everything that's been going on I just haven't got around to doing anything with it, but our household is now, you know, into their own routine following the lockdown, and so, you know, I'm going to have a bash at it today. So let me just show you what you get. You get a package of bits and bobs. This is what you get. It comes in a bag like this, and that's how it was posted out. And let's have a look and see what's inside here. So you get a piece of paper here just with some information regarding the product and an example of the layout here. So you get that. And then enough bits and pieces for you to be able to make your own tag. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here to use as the tag base. Of course, you can substitute any of your own items and, you know, if you want to. And then let's talk through the papers and things that have come with this pack here. So obviously it's a bit of a green theme going on, St. Patrick's Day here. So you've got 3 pieces of cardstock. Well, in fact, one is quite a thin origami paper and 2 pieces of cardstock. One is double-sided. We've got red on the back there. We've got a lovely piece of green floral fabric, some pretty green lace. We've got some tissue paper here with greens and sort of, you know, pinky reds, and this is just tissue paper. A piece here that you can use as a focal image. Now this is taken from one of Laurie's altered photographs. She sells cards in her Etsy shop as well, and these are altered from her original photographs, and so that's what that is. And then we've got a few other embellishments and bits and bobs here. So we've got a clover piece of trim, some wool trim here as well, and then a couple of pieces of bling. We've got this sequin trim here and another jewelled clover, and then a round piece of scrapbooking paper here as well. So that's what we've got to play with. Now this is the tag that I created with February's tag of the month kit, and of course I mounted my tag onto a piece of brown craft cardstock as well, and I want to do the same again because I want to try and keep some kind of continuity going with these tags so that, you know, it becomes sort of like a theme. So I've decided to cut my own tag bases. This one here is just a bit small for what I've got in mind. I might be able to use that a bit later. So this is the tag base that I'm going to be working on. It's more or less the same size as the one that I used for last month. And then I am just going to play around with some of these fabrics, and let's see what kind of a design we can come up with. So let's have a look at this. You see that green is just really, really pretty. I really like the white as well. I love this piece of paper here. I just think that's really, really pretty. I like that one. I've also pulled out some ledger paper as well because I just feel that I want something neutral just to break things up a bit. So I think I'm going to use some ledger paper. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut a piece off here like this that I can maybe use at the bottom. You see, I just love how that looks, and I'm wondering as well whether I can perhaps use some of this up here, or maybe have it a slightly different way around, just so that you know, it varies it up a bit. So let's start off by gluing this piece down here. I'm going to trim it because I just love these ledger papers so much. I don't want to waste them. So I'm going to glue this piece down first. I like that side better the typeface, the writing just really appeals to me. So let's glue this down. And my advice when you're doing something like this is just try not to overthink it, because you will end up with something lovely regardless. So let's stick that down. Move that out of the way. This is just a piece of deli paper that I'm using here. So let's stick this into place like that. Use a bone folder just to make sure that we've got it stuck down. I'm a bit shy on that area there. So spread that out. There we are. And then we can trim off the excess. There we go. So that's what we've got so far. And then what did I say? I said I wanted a piece of this, didn't I? So, and I think I want that to go that way round, perhaps. How much of it do I want to go? Where was the other piece of paper I had? You see, I quite like the idea of using this. I think I need to decide my layout before I do anything. Let me just have a think about what I can do with the focal image. I think I want to trim this to start off with. So I'm going to start off by doing that, because the border on this isn't even anyway. So I'm just going to trim around it. And I might mount this onto this piece of off-white cardstock here. So let's just do this to start off with. And then I can maybe mount that onto there like that. And then you see, I'm thinking that I could even have that as a border as well. I really like that idea. Right, I'm going to do that. Before I do anything else, that's what I'm going to do. So this is what I've got so far. I just love how that looks mounted onto those two pieces of paper. So I'm happy with that. Now I want to glue this down onto the bottom of my tag. How do I want that to go? Do you know, I'm just going to glue it down just like that. I don't want to overthink this. I think that side is just too much. It's too similar to what we've got on the top. So I'm going to use this side here. So let's stick that down, and then you see the decision is made. Half of the issue with any of these things is trying to make a decision as to what to put where. But I just really like these kits because you've got limited supplies, so you know the decisions are pretty much made for you. So let's glue this down here like that, and smooth that down. This is the bone folder from my envelope maker. It just always seems to be on my desk at the moment, and I seem to have mislaid all of my hotel key cards that I generally use. You see, that's perfect, so I'm happy with that so far. What do I want to do next? What have I got left? What pieces of paper have I got left? I've got all of these. Right, bring in the fabrics. How do I want these to go? Let's start off with the lace first, because I think the lace is going to go down the side like this. It's the right length for my tag. I'm sticky now. I'm going to have to go and wash my hands. And then I like the frayed edge, which I want to go along there. You see, I really like how that looks. And then, of course, this will be my focal image, which goes that way up. You see, I just absolutely love how that looks already. What can we do with this piece of paper here? You see, this has got the some of the colours that are in that there. But I don't know, it's too busy. It's just not doing it for me. I think I'm going to save that for something else. What else have we got? So we've got another piece of this one here left. We've got this piece of green as well, so we could maybe have that there like that. What can we do with these? Could we have maybe another piece of this and layer layer that up perhaps. You see, I quite like how that that looks. Right, I've made a decision. What I'm going to do first of all is glue the lace down. I think I'm going to glue it that way round. Yep, that's the right way up. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac. I'm just going to apply that just onto the side here. So we'll pop that down first. I'm not worried if the lace doesn't lie completely flat. That doesn't really matter. So let me just stand up to do this. So we'll have that on there like that, and then I can always add a bit more glue if I need to. So I'm just going to tap this down like so, and then I want my fabric to go over the top of that like that. And I quite like the idea of having some lace hanging over the edge on the other side. So what I'll do is I'll apply my Fabri-Tac to the back of the glue. I'm going to try and add a thin layer just so that it doesn't bleed through to the fabric too much underneath. It probably will, but there we go. So we'll stick some of this down. Smooth it out and stick that on top. I'm going to end up in a horrible gluey mess. There we go, like that. Make sure I cover up the white cardstock on the edge, and then I think I'm going to have to go and wash my hands, because otherwise I'm just going to end up in a right old gluey mess. I might need a tiny bit more glue just under there. Let's just pop some down. Here we go. Lift that up a minute. Just need a bit more glue there, like that. There we go. And I'm just going to weight that down underneath a heavy book for a minute or two. So that's been weighted down underneath a heavy book. So I'm just going to trim that off around the edges. Do I want a bit? No, I'm just going to trim it off all the way, really flush to the edge. So that's what we've got so far. I really like that, actually. Let me just try and do a neater job with that part there. There we go. So I'm liking that. And then before I do anything else, I just want to ink around the edges with some of the Memento ink. So I'm just going to do this. This will just hide anything that might be just a little bit uneven. I'll probably need to ink again as well once I've decided how I'm going to add my focal image. But this will just draw my eye to the centre and just help me choose where I want to put my focal image just a bit more easily. So as far as the focal image is concerned, I want it to go something like this. Make sure I get it the right way. Yes, it's that way up. So I think I want to use this as a frame. I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. But what I will do before I do anything else is just ink around the edges of these as well. So let's just do this. I don't need all of that piece of green. Let's just check to see that I've inked enough. Yep, that's fine. And then we'll do the same with these two pieces as well. This would just hide any white edges that we might have going on, and just, you know, grunge it up a bit. I want to put this in my latest journal as well, which has got sort of, you know, a vintage shabby chic feel. So I want to keep that theme going. So I shall do the same with this as well. I'm going to have to be careful with this one because, of course, this is origami paper, which is really, really thin. So we'll just finish that off on that side there. It might be easy if I sort of bring it in here. The glue will flatten it out again anyway. So there we go. That's fine. And so let's play around with the layout. Right, I'm going to glue that down, I think. how far down do I want this to come? Yeah, so again, I'm just going to glue these down. I like how that looks. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So let's add some glue over the back of this. And again, people ask me why I keep changing the glues. It depends on what project I'm working on. If something is going to stick down nicely with glue stick, then you know that's what I'll use. But I use Fabri-Tac just because it doesn't buckle when you're using sort of papers and cardstock. So we'll have that there like that. Have I applied enough glue to that edge there? Let me just make sure that I've got enough there for that to stick. And then this one is going to go on there like that. So we'll just apply some glue over the back of this one as well. And we're almost done. We've just got to add a few finishing touches. This one's turned out really, really simple, hasn't it? That's what I like about these tag kits. So, you know, this is a really fun and quick project. Make sure I get that the right way up. So that's going to go on there like that. So again, we'll just apply some glue over the back of this. Now this one here, I'm just going to make sure that I use my finger to take the Fabri-Tac right to the very edge, because I don't want this coming unstuck. In fact, I could have used a glue stick for this, really. So we'll take the glue right to the very edge, lift that up there, make sure I get it the right way up, and that's going to go on there like so. So again, I'll just use my bone folder just to make sure that I press that down. So I just want to cut this excess off here. So we'll get rid of that, ink up the side, because of course we've got no ink on this edge here, just to tie that together. And then I've got a couple more ideas. I want to do a similar kind of tag top as the one that I did for the previous tag. So I'm thinking that I could possibly use this piece of paper here. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. So I could have that over the top there. I've also got the postage stamp on the envelope that I could use as well. So I'm just going to tear around this as well. And then I can see which one I like the best. So let's just tear around this. So let's have a look and see which we like best. I've already folded my postage stamp in half. So we've got that one there. Or we've got this one here, and I am thinking that I like this one here the best. Let's try it round the other way. No, definitely. Whoops daisy, where's it gone? That way round. I don't know, that just works better than the postage stamp this time to me. So we'll pop that aside and we can use that for something else. I'm going to ink around the edges of it again. So let's just do this. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on that just to hold it in place. Let's put a bit all the way over. There we go. Just enough just to hold it in place so that it doesn't slip. And then I just want to punch an eyelet in this as well. So I just want that slightly proud. Can you see what I mean? Let me just make sure that it's central as well between the two sides here, because otherwise that will really irritate me. Needs to move over just a tad about there. So I like that. So let me just go and grab my crocodile. Now I've come to a decision. I'm not going to add an eyelet here. What I am going to do is I'm going to mount some of this. I've got this tiny piece of the origami paper that I mounted my focal image on. And I think I'm just going to, in fact, what I'll do is I'll fold this over. It doesn't look as if it's quite straight to me. I've got a plan. So I'm just going to trim this up so that it's straight. Like this. I'm going to ink around the edges. Where's the Memento ink? Again, I'm going to have to be careful with this because it's very, very thin because it's just thin origami paper. And then I'm going to mount it onto some more of this white cardstock to make myself a little tab for the top. And then I'm just going to bring in a piece of deli paper again. I'm just going to use a glue stick. Let's use this one here. Make sure I apply plenty of glue all the way to the edges, just so that it doesn't come unstuck. There we go. That should be enough there. And then where's that piece of white cardstock? So let's just stick this down like that. And again, I want to border around the outside, and I'm just going to trim that on my paper trimmer. So I've trimmed that. I'm going to ink around the edges of the white as well, just a touch, and this will just add some more white space for me, which I really like. Here we are, just a touch, not too much, and then I need to fold that in half as well, and that's just going to form a tab at the top, just on the craft cardstock, like so. I've already inked around the edge of the craft paper as well, and I just need to decide how I want that to go. There, like that. Isn't that gorgeous? I really like how that looks. So I've got my 3-in-1 at the ready, and I want that to go on there like that. So I'm just going to apply some of the 3-in-1 here. Come on, out you come. Like this, and on the other side. There we go. And I know that I want my tag. Let me just pop my tag into position first. So I want that to go there. Make sure I've got that centralised. Hold tight onto that. And then I can just slot my little tab in place. Like that. There we go. Just there. Hold that down like that, and then I need to glue the tag down as well. I'll just peel that little bit of glue off, and then that can go on top. And let me just stick this down, and then I've got another idea for another little embellishment that we can add as well. So let's just add plenty of glue, some in the middle. And I'm just going to use my finger again just to make sure that I've got plenty on the edge so that that doesn't come unstuck. Stick that down. Make sure I centralise that. And then I've just got 2 more embellishments that I want to add. I've got one of the Tim Holtz butterflies, which is just the perfect colour. I'm just going to ink around the edge of that. There we go. And that's going to go just there. And then I've got one of the Tim Holtz little words as well. Find joy in the ordinary. I'm just going to chop that in half though. Ink around the edges again. And we can add this as well, and that will be my tag finished. So find joy. Just need to see how I want to position that in the ordinary. So how do we want that to go? Perhaps there, like that. So I'm just going to play around with that, and that's it, job done. So here's my finished tag. I absolutely adore this. I'm really pleased with the way that that's turned out. I've ended up using the majority of the things that Laurie sent, and a few bits and pieces of my own as well, but you know, these are the bits and pieces that I've got left over that I can use in another project at a later date, so not much left, but that was just so much fun to work with. So as I say, I'll leave the link to Laurie's shop, Piles of Paragraphs, in the description box below. Her April kits are now available for you to order if you want to. But I just hope that you enjoyed today's video, and of course if you did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.